moving along here. Quad lock question of the week. The winner this week is Rap 625 Cody. Congratulations, Cody. You win the quad lock question of the week. Pretty good question here. I have my opinion on it, why they wouldn't, or why I don't think they should, or not think they should, but why they probably won't. So Rap 625 Cody asks, what do you think of SMX Next being 125 two-strokes? It would force the manufacturers to put more R&D into the 125s, but I would also slow down the class. It would also slow down the class and prevent injuries in the learning stage. The jump from minis to 250s is way bigger than minis to 125s. Take it away, RV.
Yeah, he's correct there. The jump from minis to 125 is a lot smaller. I think that some of that's correct, some of it's not. And what I mean by correct is yes, the bikes are slower. And I think the transition from, like, say, an 85 or super mini to a 125 would be a better thing. Number one problem is there's only about 3 manufacturers, or 2 manufacturers roughly, right? Austrian brand and the Yamaha that make 125. So all the other manufacturers don't even offer that. So to have them redevelop a 125 is really, really far-fetched. Probably is not going to happen. And then also too, from a safety perspective, our tracks now, if you were to stick a 125 out there on our tracks, our Supercross tracks, or Daytona, for example, I think that's a recipe for disaster because of how slow those bikes are. Jumping the full-size triples and the rhythm sections and things like that. I think it would be very hard for them to jump those. And the guys that were to be able to pull it off or try to pull it off, casing those jumps on a 125, just because they're so down on power compared to a 250F. You could say you'd see a lot of crashes because they would be trying to send it and jump things that maybe that you kind of can't on a 125. We would have to change some of the lengths of some of those triples and some of those jumps out of the turns. And then on the other hand, you could say, oh, well, don't do it because, the bike's too slow. Okay, well, then you can have a lot of guys rolling everything, and that's no good from the viewer's perspective, was watching a bunch of kids go around rolling everything. So
I hadn't thought about that, like about the tracks, like what you're saying. And now you being at the amateurs, a lot more racing with the kiddos, like you're probably exposed to that. So that's a really, really good point. Outside of, you made great points about the business stuff. I agree. Like, I would love to see the speeds slowed down for sure. From a safety standpoint, 100%, Cody. But like RV said, there's just not, the ROI and the business model, unfortunately, is just, it doesn't make sense for those manufacturers. And RV said it perfect. But I like what you said also, RV, about, I didn't think about the tracks. They're more tailored to the 4 strokes and how much.
Yeah, you'd have to tailor just what your RC SX right now, from the side. That would be more driven towards like a 125. Like you guys shorten the jumps down a little bit. You make safety decks. You take the takeoffs and you push them out a little bit so they're not as steep. So you don't go as high. You go a little bit farther. There would be some things that I think that you would have to do. And they race on the same night as the big dogs, and that's physically not possible to do that throughout the night.
Good stuff, RV. Cody, congratulations. The process. You listen to us. JH has probably already reached out to you, so enjoy your quad lock swag. Make sure you comment on there. I have no doubt that you'll be stoked on their product. They make incredible stuff. So and a whole bunch of things, whether for motorcycles, anything off-road, super handy.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports. If you enjoyed what you just watched, well, it's time to bring the action and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel. You can have it all: news, highlights, interviews, and analysis. So go for it.